Hi everyone, it's Steve from 40 Fit Training and welcome back to another week's workout. This week I decided to change things up slightly and reassess my program, and I wanted to make a little bit of faster progress, and so I changed the Wendler system for another system that has me doing squats and deadlifts on one day with a couple of accessory exercises thrown in, and then on the second day doing bench and shoulder work along with some accessory work. And in all honesty, I found it a little bit too stressful. Doing squats and deadlifts on one day is just too much hard work for me, and overall on the second day I ended up doing too much overall volume because of the numbers of exercises I wanted to get in to cover the upper body workout. So I think I will go back to the Wendler program, and the pluses about that really are it's such a structured program. You do work off percentages, so you need to know what you're going to do ahead of the workout, but it's very it's got a lot of positive reinforcement, as in when you hit those numbers it really motivates you for the next week when the poundages increase incrementally week on week, and on their third week you have your peak phase and you hit your heaviest poundages. This then sets you up for the next cycle. But I'll do another video about that next time I'm back on the program, which should be sometime next week. But for this for today, I have to say that I was not impressed with that weightlifting belt whatsoever. I've drilled another 2 holes in the belt to make it as tight as it possibly could go, but it still floats around and I absolutely hate it. So I'll be back to wearing the flimsier fabric one next week until I can figure something else out. So as I said, this is the deadlift part of the session. So straight after doing, I think I did about 3 or 4 sets. I've only recorded 2 sets of squats, I think, but I actually ended up doing 3 or 4 sets of squats and 2 sets of deadlifts. So quite an exhausting day really. The other aspect to this particular program is that on the second part of the training week, you basically complete the same exercises and body parts together, i.e. squats and deadlifts on the same day, and chest and shoulders on another day. However, the focus is very much on pausing the exercise. So you pause the deadlift just after the beginning phase, pause the squats at the bottom phase, and chest just at the bottom phase on your when you're powering out of the bottom part of the movement. And you don't use maximum poundages for this, and this hopefully gives you a rest before you get back to the heavier part of the cycle again. Also, I almost forgot to mention, focusing on these on the pausing part of the movements, you're working through the sticking points and the points that may hold up your progress. So focusing on those areas of the movement may really be beneficial in getting your poundages up on the heavier days. However, for me, as I say, it just lacks too much focus, and I think I'll go back to the Wendler program next week, which is based around 1 primary movement per day, which just suits me. So this is day 2, chest, shoulders and some accessory back work, and I'm so pleased because it looks like somebody's found the light switch in this gym. I can now see what I'm doing. Anyway, I failed to record the first set of my bench press. I managed to get 4 reps, and I think I'm just showing sets of 3 and 2 in the ones I have recorded here. I feel I'm really struggling on trying to get my poundages up on the bench press, and would like to spend a lot more time focusing on making this happen. I tend to feel much happier when I am doing incline dumbbell presses, and though it's a more awkward style of exercise, trying to balance the dumbbells, I just seem to feel a little bit more comfortable than I do under the barbell. Maybe it's because the barbell is a lot heavier, although in my case, as I say, not all that much heavier, not as heavy as I'd like it to be. So this is the chest phase of the workout coming to an end, and now move over to working on the shoulders, I'm going to use dumbbells for them instead of doing a straightforward military press. I find that sometimes the military press can irritate the rear of my shoulder and the rotator cuff. And I've had a few problems with that recently from all of the heavy pressing and bench pressing, etc. So here I am using dumbbells to do presses with, and I find that the style in which you do the presses can influence any pain or irritation, discomfort that you have in your shoulders. And so I'm almost using a palms parallel grip to make the presses with. I just find it hits the front deltoids a little bit more and stops me from getting too much irritation in my shoulders that I seem to get from the military presses, or would do from the sort of more conventional style of doing dumbbell presses. And that's pretty much it for shoulder training today. Next I'm going to move on to some chins, and if anybody was watching my last video, the muscle up, this is some accessory work that I am including to try and get better at doing the muscle up. So I've been working with heavy chins, having up to 10-15 kilos hanging from my waist whilst I do the chins, and I think they're very good for generating or building strength in the lower portion of the movement. But in the top part of the movement, where I want to get my chest as close to the bar as possible and squeeze the peak contraction, with having all of that weight hanging around my waist, I'm not able to contract that top position for long enough to build the strength at the top of the movement, as I feel that's where I'm really struggling with the muscle ups in that transition phase. So i.e. where my chest is nearly at the bar, and I need to transition between pulling and pushing myself over that bar. So I'm focusing on trying to build strength in that area, and that's why I'm not using any weights today, and it's just slow, deliberate and strict pull-ups. Very difficult to do that many of them when you're doing them that slowly. At least that's my excuse. So that's it for 40 Fit training this week. Join me next week back on Wender program. Thanks a lot for watching.